From the Tech Museum of Innovation,
in the heart of the Silicon Valley.
Welcome to another Tech Close-Up. I'm Mark Albertson.
And I'm Christina King. And unless you've been living under a rock lately, you know that technology affects all of us.
You mean one of these?
Yeah, that would be a rock.
Know. Well, anyway, when it comes to technology, that's what Tech Close-Up is all about. In today's show, we'll face the music when it comes to skincare, where the latest technology's finding new wrinkles, whether we want them or not.
That's for sure. We'll also visit a company where lights, heat, and security in your own home can be controlled from thousands of miles away.
And we're going to meet a group of school kids who are making huge strides in computer literacy.
All of this, plus Dr. High-Tech Gadgets himself, our very own Rob Enderle.
All this coming up in Tech Close-Up.
Oh, more fine lines, it seems, come in every single day. It's hard looking in the mirror when you're getting a little bit older. But there is one company in San Jose, California that's making every deep wrinkle, every tiny line that you get, their business to help correct. Hey, have you ever wanted to know all there is to know about your face? You know, how you're aging, what you're going to look like in 20 years? Well, the answer for a lot of us is probably not. But what if you had the option where you could? Wouldn't you kind of want to check it out? Well, I'm standing in the lobby of Britex Biophotonics, and we are in San Jose, California, and I'm about to go through a very, humbling experience. I'll show you.
Hi, come on in.
Okay.
Come and have a seat right here.
Alrighty. Wow, look at this thing.
That thing in front of me there is actually a high-tech truth teller for your skin. And I'm about to get a reality check.
Go ahead and rest your chin on the chin plate.
And in 3, 2, 1.
Boy, I think I can see the sun damage. Would it just be where the freckled areas are?
Yeah, exactly. All that diffuse brown pigmentation that we're looking at, that's all subdermal photo damage.
Right, because I don't see any freckles looking at my face, but they look...
And that's the amazing thing, is this really shows you how your skin will age.
Okay, so this machine called Clarity Pro actually is a good thing. Biotech firm Britex Biophotonics developed this complicated skin analysis system 2 years ago. And so far, a handful of cosmetic companies have signed on. They use it to test their product's effectiveness.
You know, there are two types of companies out there. Ones that really love us, that know their products really work. The others who hate us, who know their products don't work.
Physicist Raj Chibber founded the company. He says this scientific system gives quantitative results. Many dermatologists have bought in, so they can monitor their patients' skin changes over time.
Well, let's look at wrinkles. Let's just get this out of the way.
Okay.
This is where Clarity Pro shows my future wrinkles.
So is the darker the deeper lines?
So the bright blue, that's going to be your deep lines. And this gray that you see here is more of your surface texture information.
Okay.
And then the gray lines are going to be your fine lines.
Oh boy, how does this work? To put it simply, after taking a white light and UV image of your face, a software program detects the damage, from clogged pores to future discoloration based on what's way underneath.
In addition, we have a comparative analysis feature, which allows you to look at before and after results of all of your skin conditions. So if you get a particular treatment, you can do the comparative analysis and see the before numbers versus the after.
Yeah, like, are you talking about like Botox?
Exactly. Anything like that, any treatment.
Okay.
As a company, Britex says it has a bright outlook.
The future is essentially take a picture with your cell phone and send it to Britex Biophotonics, and we'll analyze your skin and tell you how your skin is doing for the day.
So this is just the beginning for us. We have barely scratched the surface in this area. There are many other probes and technologies we can add to the existing product to measure other characteristics of your skin and other areas of detecting disease.
And while I found out it may not be a pretty picture, technology like this is making inroads to early detection and a prettier face. What is an exabyte? An exabyte.
You got me.
Do you know what a byte is?
I do.
Okay, do you want to find out what an exabyte is?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to find out, and it's pretty painful when we come back.
These hands hold tight. These hands love. These hands support. These hands create. These hands save lives. To empower your hands to help make a difference, call the American Heart Association at 877-242-4277 for a CPR class near you. These hands are wise.
This is firstgov.gov.
Brand new student loan applications on the site, baby. This calls for a celebration.
Where we're obsessed with getting you government information.
What are those?
Government surplus cars for auction.
You posted those online last time.
No, you did.
I'm posting them online this time.
Just log on or email us and get what you need. firstgov.gov.
The time is coming. There's no escape from the day you retire. And will you be ready financially?
Are you ready, dear?
Saving for your financial future doesn't have to be a nightmare. Choose to save.
What is an exabyte?
1 quintillion bytes.
1 quintillion bytes.
1 quintillion bytes.
Doesn't that sound painful?
It's a large number.
All right, you know you've done this. You go away on vacation or on a business trip, and then suddenly, uh-oh, did I remember to turn on the security alarm? Or is the coffee pot off? Well, there's new technology that lets you log onto a website and by remote control, change the settings in your house from anywhere in the world. Let's go on a digital tour of the house of tomorrow with the folks at iControl. The World Wide Web just got a little wider. On the same internet that lets you download music video, see and talk with friends, or text message to cell phones. Now, a web-based system lets you keep an eye on your home when you're away from home.
What the industry has really lacked is the ability to have personal content for the things that really matter in your life, which are your home, your family, your property.
When you're actually looking at my house here, I can kind of look at the front door of my house and I can see my kid and my wife and the nanny and a house cleaner.
Reza Raji, CEO of a Silicon Valley firm called iControl, sort of a nickname for I control what goes on in my home with the internet.
It's nice to be able to check on stock and news and weather on your phone, but it's arguably much more compelling to know what's going on with, did your kid come home from school? Or is grandma still healthy and happy?
iControl cashes in on common high technologies like motion sensors, thermostat controls, internet cameras. They're everywhere.
And the idea is that these devices can come from anywhere, but the service really ties them all together, and that's what's really unique about the iControl offering.
For about $10 to $15 a month, the web browser works like a remote control for the home. In effect, sensors let users log on to close garage doors, change temperature settings, maybe even turn on the coffee pot. But it's security that drives most consumer interest. For instance, iControl's office features a door sensor that triggers a camera to take pictures whenever anybody walks in, like when the Tech Closeup crew showed up.
Can you get live video too?
Yes, you can. So there's a link here called Live Video, so I can click on that, and there we are. So there's the camera up there.
Oh, that's us right now.
This could be your house, your front door, it could be your kid's room, it could be your small business. It doesn't really matter what the premises is. It's really about enabling people to really be there when they're not.
That means cameras and sensors to, say, record when grandma took her medicine, or if the kid came home from school on time. You might say, Big Daddy is watching you.
And that's really what it's designed for. It's allowing people to manage the craziness in their lives.
Well, it may sound crazy, but they say iControl for a reason. The browser lets homeowners customize their controls, like when the camera should take pictures. It then emails alerts that display pictures even on cell phones.
This is my house.
Okay.
And I have 4 cameras, and this is the front door camera, for example. Mm-hmm. And that's my wife at 12:46 p.m. today checking mail.
Does it ever bother her that you can snoop on her like this?
The question you're bringing up is really the overarching term for it is privacy. From a perception point of view, you can have as much privacy or as little as you want. Well, look, if you really care about privacy, don't put a camera in your bedroom.
But if homeowners put their homes on the web, then what's to stop hackers, crooks, or peeping Toms from logging on too? iControl feels its security system is hacker-proof.
So we have at least 6 layers of security we built in. We have authentication, encryption. The cameras have their own user ID and password. They have their own encryption. So if you feel good and secure about online banking, this is at least an order of magnitude more secure than that.
But it's not just home security. iControl's biggest customers own small businesses.
Did my employees open the store on time? Did they close it on time? Did they enter the storage room? Things that they normally couldn't see. Can I just see what's going on during the daytime in my store?
So there's a clear value that they get on a daily, if not hourly basis from this kind of a service that they never really could get before using any kind of service, including traditional security systems.
So while they say home is where the heart is, with programs like iControl, home is now wherever you can log onto the web.
Okay, we got Blu-ray, we got HD DVD, and just your regular DVD player. Which one is right for you? I have no clue as far as what I could use. I mean, I'd like them all. Rob Enderle is with us today to help us understand a little bit about which one of these products will work best with your family, and it all depends on what you like.
In fact, the reason I've selected these players are these two, the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, do things other than just play movies. In fact, they're probably the best deal right now if you want to try HD DVD or Blu-ray.
Yeah, save me some money, won't you? Definitely.
Well, really, because what you've got with this is you can play games on it, you can listen to music, and you can watch the movie. Same thing here. What PlayStation did is they threw it all together. It cost about $600. And everything, and it looks cool. It does
look really futuristic.
Nice.
I like it.
And what Xbox 360 did, it kind of came out earlier. This is $400. You can buy that to play games, but if you want to do HD DVD and you actually have one of these things, it's only $200 more to do HD DVD. So this add-on unit, which could look a little bit better.
It doesn't. It's not beautiful, is it?
It's not as pretty as the Sony, but it does the job. $200 more, and then this is the Oppo. This is currently the top DVD player that's affordable, about $230.
Oppo, O-P-P-O.
O-P-P-O. Okay. It's got a Furuja upscaler in it. Now, to give you an idea, Furuja upscalers were used when high-definition TVs first came out, so you could watch DVDs and VCR movies on a high def without having it look really bad. The Furuja upscaler alone cost upwards of $2,000.
$2,000?
So the prices come down so much that they are able to build it into a $230 DVD player.
That's what I'm talking about.
So the movies for this cost about $15. The movies for these two, this is about $21. That's about $24.
So they're close to the same as far as the Blu-ray and the HD DVD.
And of course, these are regular DVD movies. So the ones that you already bought will play on this and will look really good on a high definition set. In fact, the funny thing is unless you're doing it side by side, you won't really notice the difference between this, the HD DVD, and the Blu-ray. Now, if they are side by side, you will notice it. But a lot of people said, okay, so what do you get? I can actually see the detail on the walls. The people are walking by, so I can, if there are bugs on the walls, I can see those now.
I want to see. Can you show me?
Well, here we do. We've got each of the movies up on the big screen. Now, this is just a regular DVD, upscaled through the Furuja upscaler on a $230 player. You see that?
That's what I like. $230.
$230, regular DVD. So if you already have the DVDs, you don't have to go out and buy new DVDs. Because remember, with the other two, to get them to work and provide a good picture, you actually have to go out and buy the same movie over again and pay more for it.
Forget it.
Yeah, well, that's kind of it.
But that looks great.
Looks great. It's sharp picture. So now we'll switch all the way over to Blu-ray. Same movie.
Okay.
Same movie. Now this is Blu-ray. This is a high definition movie. You now spent $10 more to see a little extra detail. Now if we had them side by side, you could see that right now we're seeing a little bit more detail. You're seeing maybe some of the
Actually, I see that. And
the
you
wall
don't even
detail.
have to put them side by side. I do see a difference.
So you can see, certainly you can see his beard is more distinct. It looks more like a window, but the other picture looked just fine until you saw this. And now we'll switch over to HD DVD. For HD DVD, it's basically the same quality picture. In this particular case, we're watching Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow, so it's kind of got that retro look to it. Anyway, remember, they're all working under blue screen in this particular case, but you see a lot of definition. It's a very pretty picture. It actually fills the screen. It's a nice shot. But once again, to do the HD DVD, you would have to buy or rebuy the movies that you had to get this resolution. And the other little problem you've got is there's some movies are on one format and some movies are on the other. So, for instance, HD DVD.
I mean, they all look pretty good.
Right, they all look pretty good, but you can't get the same movie on both. So, for instance, the movie we're watching up there, the Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow, that's HD DVD only. The other one, Fifth Element, that's Blu-ray only.
And so that makes me crazy. Why can't these companies work together?
Well, that's kind of it. Now, Time Warner was one of the firms that said, heck with it, we'll put our movies out on both, we'll let the consumer decide. And then on the hardware side, Lucky Gold Star did a player that will play both HD DVD and Blu-ray. It's a little expensive though, it's $1,200. Price will come down. So that's kind of why I say you want to wait.
Yeah.
The Ferrugia player, $230, it's good enough for right now. Allows you to play your regular movies. All the movies come out on regular
They
DVD.
look great.
It's a good value.
Thank you, Rob. This has been Fast Forward.
Okay, how much money does Steve Jobs take from the company each year? It's got to be a lot. Do you know?
No, do you?
We'll have the answer when we come back.
You say you'd give your right arm to be there for your family? Here's your chance to prove it. Have your blood pressure checked and control it to lower your risk of heart attack and stroke.
There's a place where a total stranger will give their blood to save your life. There's a place where someone you never knew will save your child from drowning. A place where people will give you food and shelter after a flood. There's a place where, when you need it most, someone will reach out their hand, put it across your shoulder and say, "Everything's going to be okay." That place is called America, where we look out for each other. And it's up to us to keep it that way. When you help the American Red Cross, you help America.
Okay, how much money does Steve Jobs take from the company each year? It's got to be a lot.
Only $1.
But massive stock options.
Massive stock options.
Now, when you come to the Chabot Space and Science Center here in Oakland, you'd think you'd be talking about outer space. But TechBite is here to talk inner space. I'm here with Sarah Rogers from Chabot. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Why are we talking about inner space here?
Well, we actually just premiered our new exhibit called In the Dark here. And what Chabot is doing is tying in environmental science as well as being able to study the stars in the universe as one of the many aspects of science education. And so we have our new exhibit In the Dark, which is studying all of Earth's dark ecosystems.
There's a real dark life here. Like
Yes.
they have little microbes that are in volcanic rocks down under the sea.
Exactly.
They're very hot. And
They are, yes.
And of course, you would never want to live there, but things do live there.
Right,
And
exactly.
now, one of the things that you're profiling, though, is the jellyfish.
Yes.
What's so interesting about a jellyfish?
Well, on one of our Darkness in the Nights is we have also Darkness of the Sea, which we are doing for jellyfish and other sea creatures that kind of go deep down within the depths that we don't get much time to spend around and examine. So we have this exhibit here that's kind of trying to teach you how a jellyfish balances itself using certain balls within its body to kind of steady itself.
You mean a jellyfish just isn't this goop that's just floating around, that it really does know how to balance itself?
Exactly, and it helps use its tentacles. So there's more to a jellyfish than meets the eye. And I think that you should try and see how your balancing skills are.
So there's
getting
this
on
little
this.
ball here.
Exactly.
And what am I supposed to do with this silver
So
ball?
you have to balance yourself holding on here, and you want to make sure the ball can get into that round circle in the middle in black.
And if I can't do this, it means I'm not a jellyfish. Is that right?
Unfortunately.
Okay, well, I'm going to try here. All right. Has anyone successfully behaved like a jellyfish here?
People try, but not so far.
Maybe you have to join the Jellyfish Union. It's the, well, if people can't do this, why is it that jellyfish can do this?
That's a great question.
Well,
and going through this exhibit, you'll find out the answer.
what I am finding out is that I'm more than just goop, because I'm apparently not a jellyfish. Although
It's
there
hard.
are people who think I am goop. Yeah, it is very hard. You really can't. And jellyfish are able to do this?
It's amazing. When you actually
Yeah.
look at it, you're like, oh, that's easy. I can get on there and balance.
Have you had a
But
jellyfish come in here and do this?
that is going to be the next thing. We'll probably
this-
have to prove that it actually does happen.
Well, this is quite an informative tech bite, because it clearly shows that I am not a jellyfish. And as I said, I think there are some people who would disagree about that, but this is very informative. What does it tell us about marine life in general, about some of the mysteries of how they behave and live?
I think that what it tells you and what this actual exhibit tells you is that there's so many areas that are in the dark, so to speak, that we don't really know about. And that this exhibit we're hoping to bring to the center to teach children and families and even adults alike all the different aspects and what happens within each kind of atmosphere of darkness. So we have darkness of sea, darkness of soil, darkness of night, and darkness of the universe.
What do kids and adults say about this?
You know, we actually have just premiered the exhibit, so we're actually starting to see how kids interact with this and what they're getting out of it. So we're still in the process of finding out.
What do you hope to find out?
Well, we hope to find that kids realize that with science comes discovering different aspects of science. I think a lot of people come to Chabot Space and Science Center and think we're just about the sciences that relate to space. But we're also about discovering environmental sciences that tie into many different programs we do here at the center, such as solar, compost energy, and saving. So I think that we kind of use a balance of those to teach children, kids, and adults about science.
Well, leave it to TechBite to shed some light on the dark. Thank you for bringing us into the dark about jellyfish and about life in the dark.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it, Sarah. Thank you.
Oh my, how much kids love coming to the Tech Museum.
Were we that small when we were that age?
I always wonder that. I think those are 5th graders. But what were you doing in 7th grade?
7th grade? I was probably trying to prevent from going back to the 6th.
I don't doubt that. But what if you'd had a computer?
Well, we dreamed of them back then.
That would have been awesome, wouldn't it? Today's kids are so tech savvy. I visited a school district in Cupertino, California, where high-tech tools are changing the way young people are learning.
The school band plays music that students are synchronizing with video. The young musicians say this makes learning more fun. But in a nearby classroom on this beautiful middle school campus near sunny San Jose, high tech is what spices up social studies class.
Maybe I'm getting old, but when I was in middle school, we didn't even have these whiteboards. We just had chalkboards. But now, here in Cupertino, the kids walk right up to this cart, and they get to pull out their own Apple MacBook laptop.
If you have computer 1 through 5 or 25 through 30, you can get your computer, leave your permission slip and homework on your desk, and I will grab it.
This is Lawson Middle School's 7th grade language arts. The kids are using the computers for an ambitious project about hero survivors.
I'm making an iMovie about this guy named Maurice Goodman, and it's about how he survived this plane crash.
iMovies? Are you kidding me?
The things that these kids know amaze me. I consider myself a pretty techie person. They'll ask me questions about some things and I have no idea, and it's amazing because I'm like, okay, who knows how to do whatever, and at least 5 or 6 students know the answer to their question. So the peer collaboration is amazing.
The Apple laptops are popular and plentiful. The Cupertino, California School District was able to buy 800 of them for their 4 middle schools, thanks to a federal grant.
Our target audience through the grant was special education. So what we were really trying to do was to impact the special ed students in the regular ed classroom. We mainstream our special ed students into the classroom, and the goal was to remove any stigmas or labels that came with that. So if every student in the classroom had access to a computer, then the special ed students wouldn't stand out.
Okay. Students like 7th grader Curtis Calley.
Well, the teacher can monitor what you're doing so that
nobody else really knows unless they're sitting right next to you and looking at your screen. And the teacher knows to keep you from viewing inappropriate things, which I think you already know of.
Using a tool called Remote Desktop, teacher Sarah Barango can monitor every student's work while they're working.
I think the biggest thing that stands out to me is that you walk in here and you don't see the difference between the regular education students and the special education students. And all of my students are productive and they're all able to work to their best ability. Some are at a much higher level than others, but it's not obvious which ones are performing highly and which ones, are performing more at a base level.
One thing the students all have in common.
Come on. Oh yes, perfect.
They love their laptops.
When we first got introduced to the computer, I was like, oh my God, I started jumping and then I was like, yes.
But some teachers were a little less excited at first. Julie Stewart oversees the district's technology grant program.
It's a scary thing, technology, sometimes to the teachers, because those of us who are in the teaching field a lot of times haven't come from the background of using technology as a teaching tool. We saw it more of as a task to add to what we already had to do. But as soon as we were able to see the benefits and work with the teachers in their professional development to gain the skills that would allow them to use the benefits of technology, now they thrive on it and they wouldn't teach any other way.
It wasn't long before everyone on campus was up to speed.
All of my students are very familiar with saving to a server, downloading documents that I post for their assignments. They all are really, really good with iMovie and iPhoto, iTunes.
And it wasn't long before teachers were watching technology create small miracles.
A student who had difficulty speaking, and in fact, she couldn't articulate, and so we used the technology to do text-to-speech, and she was able to give formal speeches, formal presentations using the technology, and to see that happen really, her self-esteem went up, the way she fit into the overall class was exceptional.
Higher self-esteem comes to students like Curtis Cowley, while bragging rights motivate some students with friends in other schools.
I tell them how this is really cool, and they try to tell me about their school, but then I know they're jealous.
This has just reached out and pushed the envelope beyond any of our expectations.
Easy to find us. Tech Closeup can be seen on most Comcast cable origination channels throughout Central and Northern California.
So if you don't want to miss Tech Closeup, just check your Comcast cable listings. And if you want to stay plugged into the stories that you see here on Tech Closeup,
all you have to do is go to our website, techcloseup.com.
Hey, thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Albertson.
And I'm Christina King. If you want to stay close to the technology that drives this world we live in,
then join us next time for another edition of Tech Closeup.
Bye-bye.